Alright guys, welcome back. So today what I want to do is quickly go over some of the different trigger options that you can get from Apex Tactical. Now if you watch my videos or have followed my channel, you'll probably know that I am a pretty big fan of the different triggers that Apex Tactical has to offer. Now laid out here on the table I've got my Glock 19, an M&P Shield, and my Sig P320, and all three of them have Apex triggers, of course, but they are all just a little bit different. So I just want to quickly go over each one of them and show you guys the benefits, or at least what I think are the benefits of each trigger, just in case you're looking to get one for your pistol or multiple pistols like we have here, or whatever the case is. And all these pistols are safe and clear. There's no ammo anywhere, so I'm not going to go through the process of showing each one is clear. But we'll start off here with the Glock 19, and this one here has the aluminum flat face trigger in it from Apex, and this one here I bought with the trigger bar. You can get it with or without, but the trigger bar it does come with is just your standard factory type Glock trigger bar, so it's nothing special there, but I went ahead and just got it with it, so I didn't have to you know, take the time to take this off. It was just a little bit more and save some time there, but with this one here I also picked up the Apex Tactical safety plunger in there that's been polished and kind of recontoured, and it did help lighten up the trigger just a little bit. But if you can kind of see here on the front, the reason I like this trigger so much is because it does have a flat face on it, and for me, you know, with the flat face, it just feels like I can get more consistent trigger pulls out of it. With the curved trigger, you know, you run the chance of wanting to push or pull the trigger since you're wrapping your finger around it. But with the flat face trigger like this one, you know, you got your flat pad of your finger going against a flat trigger, and I just think it helps you pull the trigger to the rear more consistently. So that's why I do like this one. And then also the little safety plunger here in the center, the little safety here on the trigger, it's not as sharp as the factory Glock trigger, and you know, if you're a Glock guy or if you've shot Glocks for any extensive amount of time, you'll know that that little safety there on the center of the trigger really does dig into your finger after a while, especially if you're out at the range all day shooting. And this one here is easier to push, and then when it goes all the way in, it actually goes all the way into the trigger and doesn't stick out just a little bit like the Glock trigger. So it is a more comfortable trigger, you know, to shoot. And you know, like I said, that flat face really does make it nice. So this is, you know, a pretty great option if you're looking to do some upgrades to your Glock. Now here in the center we got the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, and I did just do a video on this one here, installing this trigger, and then I've got a video out at the range putting the first rounds through it just to make sure it is going to run and function properly, which, you know, it's an Apex trigger and I wasn't expecting any issues with it, and you know, of course we didn't have any. But this one here, I put a whole kit in this one. This one I put the Duty Carry Action Enhancement Kit in, and also the red anodized aluminum trigger. Now this one here was breaking over 8 pounds from the factory, and after we put this whole kit in and everything like that, it's breaking under the 5.5 pound mark, and it took away all the grittiness from the factory trigger, and you know, the nice sharp reset, and then of course that nice red anodized aluminum trigger just makes it look so much better. So if you're looking, you know, to do some upgrades to your M&P Shield, if you want to get rid of that, you know, that heavy 8+ pound trigger and all the grittiness, definitely take a look at the Duty Carry Action Enhancement Kit. And you can get this with the red trigger, or you can get it with a black aluminum trigger, or you can get it and just run your factory trigger in it. But this is a great option, you know, to improve the trigger on your Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. And you know, it does lighten the trigger up quite a bit, but it doesn't make it so light that you shouldn't trust it for a carry gun. It's still right around or just under the 5.5 pound mark, which in my opinion is a great you know, carry gun trigger weight. And the last one I've got out here is the one in my Sig P320. Now this one here is, as you can tell, it is a flat trigger, and it is you know, also flat across, and it is a vertical flat trigger. So for me, the reason I like this one so much, again, is because it has that flat face on it, and you know, it lets you put your flat pad against a flat trigger, and it helps with more consistent trigger pulls, in my opinion, with my experience. And then also getting rid of that curved factory trigger with this flat trigger like this, it lets you actually get down a little lower on the trigger, and it gives you more leverage on it. And although this does not change the trigger weight, any at all, because since it is just the trigger shoe, but since you can get that leverage on the trigger, it does feel like it lightens it up a little bit, just because you have more leverage on it, even though it actually doesn't change any weight on it. It just makes it feel that way because you have more leverage on it. But anyhow, guys, there's 3 different offerings that you can get from Apex Tactical to do some enhancement to your pistols. And like I said, all 3 of these, you know, the Glock and the P320, it doesn't actually change the weight of the trigger by adding this. It just gives it a better feel. It gives you less pre-travel, less over-travel, so it does enhance the trigger that way. Now with the Glock, it did lighten it just a little bit because of the polished and recontoured safety plunger I put in here, so it did lighten it up just a smidge, but not too much at all. The P320 didn't lighten it at all, but this one here with the full kit with springs and everything, like I said, it did lighten the trigger pull up a few pounds and just made it an overall fantastic trigger. So, you know, if you're looking to get an Apex trigger for your Glock M&P, Sig P320, or whatever your pistol is, definitely take a look at what they have to offer, because they do make fantastic products, and they really do enhance, you know, the triggers you know, on all these guns and in all the other guns they have to offer for these also. Just really great options. But anyhow, guys, if you have any questions about anything you see here in this video or anything else you see on the channel, make sure you ask in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get back with you as soon as I can. But anyhow, guys, I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everybody subscribing, and we'll catch you in the next one.